I just got a question about this statement of services section and devices from the IEP project, and so I wanted to address that. So when you're looking at the statement of devices and services, it specifically pertains only to this considerations of special factors section. So you're filling this out based on the student that you're working with. And the first question you're going to ask is, does the child's behavior impede his or her learning or that of others? And you're going to highlight yes or no. This includes students who might be very distracted. It could include a student who had an acting out behavior, but it doesn't just have to affect someone else's learning. It could be something that affects their learning. So we'll say that this student is very distracted. It does impact her learning. So we'll say yes. So notice that if we say yes, then we have to include an appropriate strategy down in that statement of devices. Does the child have limited English proficiency? We'll go ahead and write the word no there because this student doesn't have limited English proficiency. Is the student blind or visually impaired? We'll say no, this student wasn't. Does this student have communication needs? This student might have communication needs. And note that if we say yes, then somewhere in the present levels, we have to address that and also to address that somewhere else. And usually that's specified in the goals in the students' especially designed instruction and in their supplementary aids and services. Is the student deaf or hard of hearing? And this would have to meet the state guidelines. No, we'll say this student wasn't. Are assistive technology devices necessary? This could include the use of a communication device. It could also include the use of some kind of a tablet, an iPad. We could be using a computer. We'll say yes, this student does need assistive technology because they use a tablet for some communication and also for some writing. So now we're down to this statement of devices and services. And if we answered yes to any of the questions above, which we did, then we need to tell where we are addressing those yeses. So I'm going to say that yes, we're addressing it in specially designed instruction. And within the specially designed instruction, probably for their communication and their writing goals, for this student, I might say that SDI includes instruction in using a dictation app and an organization app. And for this student, we're going to focus on using a calendar to help them remember to do devices, to bring their device to class. We'll say in supplementary aids and services, yes, we're going to say that this student could use technology. And remember that this goes both for the supports that they get within the classroom and also for testing. Does this student have a BIP? This student doesn't need a separate BIP, so I'm not going to check that. I can say that a student's behavior impedes their learning. That does not require, according to state guidelines or federal guidelines, it does not require an FBA or a BIP. Some districts might have that as standard practice, but in this case, we're saying that the student's behavior is their distractibility. And so that did not require a behavior intervention plan. That would be addressed under supplemental aids and services as prompts and cues. Not cures, maybe prompts and cues, and it might be some behavior strategies that are listed there. All right, so I hope that helped kind of clear up where this statement of services and devices comes from. So keep in mind that wherever you said you're covering those areas that you do that. So for example, because we said that there's going to be some SDI and some SAS, then note that maybe if this goal is my writing goal, then I've gone ahead and wrapped up that SDI right here where I said technology for dictation, like all that needs to be included there. And then when I'm going down further under those supplementary aids and services, I'm going to list all of those supports right here. So where I said that they would get behavior supports and prompting and cueing, that goes here. And as far as accommodations for state testing, we would said yes, that they needed reinforcement, that they needed prompting, and they could use their technology. So whatever you said up in this section has to be followed through in the rest of the IEP. If y'all have any more questions about IEP writing, don't hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to share.